Hello, hi, my name is Brianna. Welcome back to my channel. I like to talk about hair, spirituality, and all things of that nature. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about tarot. Now, I think that I'm probably going to talk about tarot and like how to do it in another video. But for this video, I thought that it would be really cool if I showed you guys my tarot collection and the different tarot decks that I have and what I use and what I think about them. So, if you like that kind of content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into the video. Now, my first tarot deck, and also the one that I use every day, is the original tarot, the deck of 78 cards with the small guidebook. I don't really want to show this too much, but I got it from Amazon. But it's literally like the standard tarot deck, and I'm not going to show too much of it because it's the one that I use the most. And to be very honest with you, I think that the only reason why I still use this is because I developed such a really big connection to it. But since I use it every day and I have a deep connection to it, I'm not gonna show nobody, so I use the original one just to let y'all know. So the next deck that I got was The Tale of the Divine, a deck and guidebook by Yoshi Tani, and it's inspired by deity, folklores, and fairy tales from around the world. This deck is absolutely beautiful. It is absolutely gorgeous. Let me show you some of the cards. So they have like the guidebook and everything, and you learn a lot like culturally about the different, tales that each card depicts. So look at the art. Can you see that? Temperance. Like, I literally look at the 9 of Cups. This is the back of the card. These cards I usually use for other people. If I'm doing like a reading, I would use these cards. Like, look at how pretty that is. Are you kidding me? So this is the deck that I use on other people. So this is a deck where I go to my friends and I'm like, oh, let me find out what he's doing, what he's up to, or what you should be doing, because that's what's more important. And yeah, this is the deck that I use for that. Very, very pretty. So the next tarot deck that I got was the Herb Crafter's Tarot, and the art was by Joanna Paula Colbert, and it was written by Letitia Gurry. And it has like the guidebook and the decks inside of it. It's just a traditional deck. This is not an oracle deck. And look at how pretty this is. Okay, like, this is the back cover of the deck, and each card has a different plant that it corresponds with. So this is the 2 of Earth, aka the 2 of Pentacles, and it has witch hazel as the thing, as the image. Mother of Air, you're probably talking about like the Queen of Swords, and then you have mugwort here. And then Mother of Fire, also we're probably talking about, once again, a queen card. You have Time. Just such beautiful artwork. I don't use this very often, as you can tell. Look at this. The sun, St. John's wort as the sun. So pretty. So yeah, I don't really use this deck often. I try to, but I'm so unfamiliar with the language that it gets very difficult. So it's almost as if I'm spending more time to like figure out what the cards mean versus actually getting the answers that I want. But nonetheless, this is probably just on the same level of beauty as the second one that I showed, but I love this deck. It's so pretty. So after the first 3 tarot decks that I've received, I decided to look into oracle decks. So the first oracle deck that I got was the Self-Care Oracle, and it is by Jill Pyle. She's the co-founder of Goddess Provisions. I'm sure you've seen them somewhere on Instagram. And it has a guidebook and everything. This is what the back of the cards look like, and this is what the front of the cards look like. So the whole purpose of this deck is like self-care, like the things that you need. So if you are asking the deck like, hey, what do I need, or what do I need help with, what am I lacking, you can pull a card. And for example, this one says abundance planning, and this one is rest. So I mean, I like this deck. It was really cool to get this as the first deck that I had. It's kind of big and a little bit hard to handle, but at the same time, I really like this deck. I don't know, I think it's because it's my first oracle deck. I don't use it that often because it's not very useful. I'm gonna be honest, it's not a very practical oracle deck to get, but nonetheless, I liked it when I used it, if that makes sense. So the next deck that I got was Moonology, and this is a 44 card deck by Yasmin Bolin, and the artwork was by Nyx Rowan. Now this deck, I don't know how I feel about this deck. Let me be honest with you. I was very excited when I first got it because I was doing a lot of moon work when I got it. And the cards, look at this. Did you see any of my other decks damaged? No. Because it's just so flimsy. Like, is this even a card, or is this like a piece of paper? I digress. It's fine. That was a style done by the artist, so the artist thought that seed fit. However, it's not my style. So this is what the back looks like, and then the front goes with correspondences of the moon, hence the name Moonology. So you have, you know, the blue moon here, the super moon, the mutable moon, the fixed moon, the cardinal moon, which is obviously talking about the zodiac signs, depending on the zodiac sign that the moon is in, waning moon, waxing moon. And to be very fair with you, they're very pretty, but you know, they're not really anything special. I would say like this deck would be really good if you needed more insight on something. So for example, like if you got like a if you're having a hard time and you ask the deck like, what do you need? For example, if you are going through a lot right now and you ask the deck what you need, for example, what if you pull like a waning moon? If you get like a waning moon, that means that maybe you need to relax. Maybe you're doing too much. If you get a waxing moon, maybe you need to do more. And that it goes with the cycles of the moon. So, you know, you have a new moon, a blank free slate. The moon is going to the half moon, right? That means, you know, things are building up. Going to the full moon, I'm sorry. Things are building up. And as the moon wanes and goes back to the empty moon, things are being released. So if you're having a hard time and you pull like a waning moon, for example, maybe you need to do some releasing, some cord cutting ceremonies or something like that. But yeah, so they also have like the full moon in Aries, a full moon in Gemini, and that's another thing too. If you get a full moon in Aries while you're asking your deck to do something, it might be a sign that you need to take action. You know, Aries is a very passionate, very actionful sign. Maybe you need to be more passionate and more actionful. So I think that's what the deck is for. But if you don't know phases about the moon or like zodiac signs, or if you're not familiar with the birth chart symbols, I don't think this is the deck for you. But I don't know, it was cute, so I wanted it. I don't regret it. I don't regret any of my decks. I love all my decks, they're so precious, but definitely not a necessity. No, I don't think so. So the next deck that I got was the Barbieri Oracle deck by Barbara Moore, and the artwork was by Paolo Barbieri. And this deck is a lot smaller than the other ones. This is what the back looks like. It has a little booklet. And I was not digging the Final Fantasy art. I wasn't. I'm sorry. I wasn't. It was very like fantasy inspired, which normally I'm here for, but it just didn't really seem like a deck. Like it felt more like artwork, more so that it felt like something I could connect with, if you understand what I'm saying. And I was largely disappointed with this deck. I'm not even gonna lie to you. The descriptions are they're not very in-depth. I don't really like them. I don't know. Once again, just like for the Moonology deck, like if you don't know much about astrology or anything like that, you could definitely avoid this deck because you're gonna have to have extensive knowledge on the planets and the zodiac signs in order to properly use this deck. So the next deck I received after that one was the Tarot of the Orishas, created by Zolrak Dokran. Yeah, it was created by an illustrated by the same person. And I really liked this book. First of all, this is a book. This is not a guidebook. This is a book. Like, look at how thick this is. This is a whole novel. And it's just so good to have because it gives you a full in-depth knowledge of the Orishas, how to pronounce their names, the history of them, and also what the cards mean. So if you want to be more knowledge on, you know, the knowledges of your ancestors, I'm going to say that again because that sounded crazy. If you want to be more knowledgeable about what your ancestors believed in, I know my ancestors, I am from Jamaica. The slaves were mainly brought in from Nigeria. So I know that this is a great deal of what my ancestors believed in and kind of what they used to navigate the world, and I want to learn more about it. So I got this deck, and this book came with it, and it was really nice, and I was really happy about it. And I liked this deck a lot more than the other ones. I think I might be a little bit more biased. That's okay. I have to be careful with the ones that I show because they're a little explicit. And these go based on the gods as well. So once again, this will help you get more familiar with the Orishas. So for example, this is Oba. And like, look at the artwork. This is what the back of the cards look like. I don't know if I showed that before. They're a little explicit, I'm sorry. But so let's look at the Ace of Water. So we have a lot of water imagery. And we have the sun here and the dolphin, and I just think it's so pretty. Once again, I might be biased. I actually haven't used this deck because I don't want to mess it up. And also it uses like water, earth. It doesn't use the European kind of cups and pentacles, so I'm not really familiar with all of that. But at the same time, look at this artwork. It's just beautiful. Chef's kiss, it's just beautiful. So I would recommend this deck if you are wanting to learn more about the Orishas. But if you are a beginner, you could buy the beginner one, the one that I still use and was in the beginning of this video. So the next deck, I actually got this deck for my birthday, is the Modern Witch Tarot deck. And I got a little black girl on the front. We love that. I like the back of these cards more so than the front, if that makes sense. I don't know, the front just feels like it was trying a little too hard, but nonetheless, very, very nice deck, very pretty art. So this is the back, and like here are some examples of the artwork. It holds true to like the modern witch. I mean, if you can, you know, just take a look at like the clothing that they're wearing, a lot of women, a lot of female inspired, which, you know, is not a bad thing. I just felt like it was a little too modern for me. I usually don't really like modern styles of things. I'm more of a like cozy person. I like very extra things. Like for example, like this card here where it talks about the sun. Very pretty, like bright colors, really cute. That's what I like. But, you know, not everyone's style is like that. But I definitely think this is still a good deck for beginners. If you are a beginner and you want to get into tarot, I think this is a good deck too, just like the first one. So my last deck is the Abiola Abrams African Goddess Rising Oracle deck. Now, I have not opened this deck yet. I got this deck a while ago too, and I haven't opened it. So I'm gonna open it now. A little unboxing, if you will. I actually waited for this deck to come out on Amazon. That's how excited I was. Look at this art. Oh my god. I'm such an art hoe. I'm such an art hoe. I can't even draw, but I love all things beauty. Okay. So this is a guidebook, and once again it talks about African goddesses. So I saw some familiar names, Yamaya, I saw Nanabuku, and I also saw who else did I just see? Oh my god. But just like any like African goddess that you could think of. Alright, look at these like vibrant colors. So pretty. And this is what the back of the deck looks like. Oh my god. I wish I could show you guys all of these. Like, what? That's who I saw. Tituba. That's who I was talking about. So if you don't know who Tituba was, she was the first woman to be tried in the Salem witch trials. So I'm also a history major, so if you want to hear about like some histories of like gods and goddesses, like I can do that too. I can do it all. It's okay. It's my channel. I can do what I want. If you guys want to see that kind of stuff, definitely, like, I'll definitely would like to do some more history stuff, as I did a lot of research on Tituba. I did quite a bit of research on the Salem witch trials in general. So today's so pretty. Oh my god. Oh my god. I hope this is not blurry. If it's blurry, I'm gonna be so sad. But this art is absolutely beautiful, and not only that, like, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I know who all these people are, and I think that this is gonna give me a really good chance to like sit down and like learn some of the people who my ancestors looked up to. But the Queen of Sheba, if you know, another very important historical figure, and Queen Nandi. I wonder if they have like the voodoo queen herself, Marie Laveau. I wonder if she's in here too. There's Arizule, Gang Sarah. I don't know if that's her name, but that's just so pretty. Okay, so that's the last deck that I have, and it's just so nice to end on that note. Ugh, I love seeing beautiful black women be drawn and represented. I like seeing all women be drawn and represented. Let's get that straight. But I'm also black, and you know, it's nice to see myself be represented in a positive light. You don't really get that very often. Okay, so that's the end of this video. Very, very short, very cute, very stout. So if you like this kind of content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I really hope that you enjoyed my tarot collection video. Maybe I'll do a tarot tips for beginners. Maybe I'll do some research on these African goddesses to share them with you all. You know, anything really. You know, I'm still open to a lot of different things on this channel. I don't really know what I want to do yet or where I want to go, but I know the kind of community that I want to create. And that's on period. Now, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Have an amazing day, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.